Be the Torah that you. Where are we? We are Perek Gimel. Perek Gimel. Perek Gimel. Everybody with us as we continue the march. Perek Gimel. Sorry, Perek Daled. Perek Daled. The Rebbe has to have patience. The Talmud has to always want to learn and never give up. Halacha Vav. That's what we're up to. Halacha Vav. Says the Rambam in Ilchos Talmud Torah. Ein sho'alin harav she'yikanes lebeis hamedrash ad she'tisyashev daitu alav. You shouldn't ask the Rebbe a question until he has time to get settled. You know, as the Rebbe is getting out of the car, I've violated this sometimes. I'll see my Rebbe getting out of a car and on the street and just go asking him a question. I'm like, probably not the best thing to do. You know, sometimes I just couldn't help myself, but it's wrong. You know, so you have to wait to the Rebbe to catch his breath, to get focused, and be able to think. The Ein Talmud Shoach Shikanet Yeshiv Yanua, and the Talmud shouldn't ask. The Talmud shouldn't ask. Sorry, I'm lost. Not even when he comes in, let him sit down. Two people can't ask at once. The Baruch Hashem on Zoom, I only hear one person at a time. That's okay. So this is a kiyum of this halacha. Two people can't ask a question at once. Somebody should only ask questions relating to the topic. If somebody asks the kasha, on something totally different, it's like someone's embarrassing. I asked, I remember a couple of years ago, somebody comes over to me after shul and starts asking me a question about a shir I had given the day before. I had no idea what he was talking about. You mentioned it, the Gemara in Chagiga. No. I was looking at him I guess I'm totally losing my mind. I don't remember. I gave a bunch of shiurim yesterday. I don't remember. And he's talking and talking and talking. And then finally he says, oh, I listened to the shir yesterday, but it's from 7 years ago. I'm like, okay, that makes me feel a little better. But I should have known the answer anyway. But at least I wasn't giving it the day before. But it was I can't believe I don't remember this. But Yeish lo Yeish, so that he's not embarrassed. Because if the Rebbe doesn't know the answer, then it's. But it's good to say I don't know. Sometimes you can say I don't know. What's the source that you look for when you want to say I don't know? It's a Rabbi Akiva Eger. Look at the Gilyon Hashas in Brachas Chaf Hema Beis. I think it's Brachas Chaf Hema Beis. Rashi there says I don't know. And Rabbi Akiva Eger there quotes 40 other places where Rashi says, I don't know. So if Rashi could say, I don't know in 40 different places, so it's okay for the Rebbe sometimes to say, I don't know. But I think Gilyon Hashas there, it's on Oma Beis. I think it's Chafei Oma Beis and Brachas. He quotes all of those cases. Yeish l'rav lahatos is hatalmidim. Your Gemara is like this. Sometimes the Rebbe could trick the students to try to teach them. She'elosav. Sometimes a Rebbe will do something strange, will do something to catch the student's attention, to sharpen them. Ellie, Mikey, you hear me? Sometimes the Rebbe has to do something really strange, like start talking with a British accent. I can't. My kids can. I can't. But do something that is like, whoa, what is he doing? Oh, Levi's back from camping. Great. You'll have to tell us about it after shir. But sometimes a Rebbe has to do something to make it memorable, so to speak. To ask them a question, to do something unusual. Reb Soloveitchik always used to say that being a Rebbe, it's like you're an actor. You're an actor. You have to put on a show. Besides the content, you have to have a introduction. You have to have the main theme. You have to know the way to say it, the way that how deep you talk, how strong you talk, right? It's all an art. It's all an art to be able to present. That's what he's saying here. You have to do things to teach. The Rebbe can ask the Talmud any question he wants. Just the Talmud asking the Rebbe, that has some limits. So the point is to be able to have the best learning possible, and whatever tools that a Rebbe could use, that is what he has to use. Again, in our day and age, it means any type of media that would be helpful to transmit. He has to do that. Clarity, the board, papers, whatever it is, however the whatever media is there, what the Rebbe should try to make use of it. One more halacha: ein shoalin me'umad, ve'ein meshivin me'umad. Right? You don't ask like in the street, standing. You ask a question face to face. You ask a question in a covered way, not screaming from behind. Straight face to face. And you ask him an appropriate content question. And ask in a awe-filled way, right? Elamira, where there's a concept of Mora Rav, where there's a concept of Mora Av, and aim, but to be in awe of our parents, not sitting in his chair, and the other types of Mora. There's Mora Hashem, but remember that Gemara? L'rabo Talmidei Chachamim. Mora Rav. One has to be in awe, and therefore one should have a Rebbe that one looks up to. But if one doesn't look up to their Rebbe, that's a problem. Right? One has to look up to their Rebbe in order to be able to learn from their Rebbe. So, and when a question is asked, it has to be asked in an appropriate way. Meaning the question shouldn't be to stump the Rebbe. I got him. I did it. Sometimes there are people out there that, if they get the rabbi, right, and that'll be like for the next couple of weeks, every time, like, hey, Rabbi, got an answer yet? There are some people like that in shul that, like, sometimes will ask a out of left field question, and the rabbi will say, good question, let me think about it. The rabbi's really saying it's a whacked out question, but he's being nice, I'll think about it. Or like for the next week, every time, Rabbi, you got an answer to my amazing question yet? One has to know why one is asking questions. The rabbi has to know, how to deal with such people and to answer in an appropriate way that is uplifting and not pushing down. But it has to be asked Meira to really know, get an answer. I'm sometimes asked by Talmidim, who have friends that maybe have certain emuna issues, and they want to talk to their friends about these serious topics. They say, "Is it a good idea?" So I say, "Well, is your friend asking you a question really, or is he making a statement in question form?" I mean, one always has to know whether one really is looking for an answer to a question. Sometimes there's a question like the average high schooler, not the average, I shouldn't say. Certain times you get a statement of a high school kid like prove to me, whatever it is, or show me. I'm not looking for answers often. If somebody's looking for an answer, you can give them an answer. But if somebody's making a statement in the form of a question, then it's not appropriate or worthwhile to get involved in the discussion, because you only can give answers to questions, right? If it's a statement, then you say, great, I'd love to talk about it at some point when you're ready to hear, when you're ready to really discuss. Okay, but that's all part of asking the questions with appropriate attitude. And don't ask a 6-part question at once, right? Don't ask a certain amount, more than 3 parts. As long as you can ask a couple of questions. Usually, Yaakov, when you ask a question, it's usually like 2 questions at once. I'm usually ready for that. But they're usually both connected to the same topic. But either way, it shouldn't be more than 3, says the Rambam, in terms of this. Okay, we'll stop here. 2 more halachas for the Perek. B'ez Hashem, we will continue with that. Let's now get back to our sugya. Our exciting sugya. Sunday always feels like we haven't learned in a long time. It has been a long time, but we ended in the middle of a discussion of a maharit, and we left it hanging, and we didn't really explain it. We left it in confusion. So we have to try to make heads or tails of it today. Feel free. And again, I encourage everyone to take notes if you can. I love when everybody's like staring at me, and it's wonderful. It makes me feel really good. But if I see writing, it makes me feel even better. And I know those notebooks are going to come with you. I have my notebooks from my years in yeshiva, in hundreds and hundreds of pages from various shiurim. Some of them I look at and I can't understand it. So you always have to try to go back after shiur and try to make it, clear about what it says. But again, it's always a good thing. Active listening, as we say, active listening. Okay, here we go. So we're talking about the sugya of Gosses. We're talking about the sugya of Gosses, major machlokes rishonim. major machlokas we showed him. Halacha l'maisa. Did a goses perform a kinyan? Did a goses give a get? That is a major machlokas rishonim. Rov rishonim assume that how do we get into this? Because our Gemara, here's the example of goses cannot be koneh. That's what our Gemara says. And that's what Yakir is coming to include. Rov rishonim, the Rosh and the Rashba and the other rishonim, Tosfos, all say, the Rashbam, Ashtus, a goses could give a get. A goses give a get. And you see that from many different Gemaras. Let's review the Gemaras because we're going to go over them. You see that, first of all, from the first line in Maseches Machos. The first line in Maseches Machos. A goses harehu kachai l'chol dvarav. A goses is alive. He's about to die, but until he dies, he's alive. Number one, Gemara in Gittin on Daf Ayin. Right? What does that Gemara say? If somebody has their throat slashed, they're allowed to give a get. Gemara says that beferish. So you see that what if somebody's throat is slashed, says the Rashba there, that's more than a goses. Right? They're about to die. Goses might live. This guy's for sure gonna die. So he could give a get. The Mishnah in Gittin, right? If you left him as a goses, you can't give it because you assume that he died. Mashba that if you know that he didn't die, then you could give it. If you know he's still a goses. So all of those Gemaras seem to say that a goses can give a get. The one Gemara that might point in the other direction is our Gemara. That's what the Rosh pointed out. Where our Gemara says, oh, goses. Why did our Gemara say goses? Why does it just say chole, who can't talk? It does say chole, who can't talk. Why did it say goses? It must be something special about goses. That's the Rabbi Yoel Halevi in the Rosh, and Rabbeinu Hananel, and maybe Rashi. Rashi in Kiddushin. Rashi in Kiddushin, who says a goses is a lav bar matana. So that is Machlokas Rishonim and the Gemaras. So our job is to figure out. We're going to try to figure out this last group of Rishonim, Rabbi Yoel Halevi and Rashi and others say that a goses is keilu meis, and therefore you cannot do kinyanim and you can't give a get. So we have to think about the svara for that. That we'll get to hopefully later today. What's the svara? What do you mean they're dead? What do you mean they're keilu? They're dead. You can't give a get. You can't give a kinyan. They're alive. You'd be mechal Shabbos for them. What do you mean they're keilu? They're dead. So we're going to have to come back to that. But first, we're going through what did they do with the Gemaras? What do they do with all these riots? All these riots seem to say that a goses can give a get. So we went through Maseches Machas. What does it mean a goses is alive? So what did all these shittas say? They're alive legabe all dvarim. What the Rosh quote? All dvarim that are one word.
Memela.
Memela. Beautiful. Now memela. Things that happen, you just have to exist. You don't have to do anything. So Yerusha and Yibum and all those examples that are given in Maseches Machos. Dvarim to memela. So that's what a goses can do. But a goses can't make a kinyan. Can't make a kinyan, can't give a get. But the biggest problem, and this is what we're going to spend a little while on right now, was the Gemara in Gittin Daf Ayin. The Gemara in Gittin Daf Ayin, where the Gemara says if somebody's throat is slashed, they're allowed to give a get. So how could you say that and say a goses, someone who's about to die, can't give a get? Isn't that a super goses? So this is where Maharit says what he says. I don't think I was as clear as I should have been on Wednesday. Let's learn it. If you just look at the Maharit, what does the Maharit say? The Maharit says, I have an answer. Rabbi Yoel Halevi and the Rach and Rashi, when they say that a goses can't give a get, that's a goses bidei shamayim. A goses bidei shamayim can't give a get. They're considered dead. But a goses bidei adam, if somebody is made to be a goses by a fellow person, he was stabbed, then they are alive. That's not keilu meis, and they can give a get. That's why the Gemara in Gittin is obviously by somebody who was stabbed, somebody whose throat was slashed, so they can give a get. He's more alive. Goses bidei shamayim, that too is keilu meis. And he quotes, let's get this clear. He quotes the Gemara in Sanhedrin, and what does he say? It's only one line in the Marit. It says, after all, the Gemara in Sanhedrin compares a goses bidei adam to a treifa. That's what the Maharit says. He takes one line out of the Gemara in Sanhedrin and he uses it for his own purposes. He says, look, in the Gemara in Sanhedrin, a goses bidei adam is compared to a treifa. A treifa, says the Maharid, for sure is allowed to give a get. A treifa can live for 5 years. What does a treifa mean? A treifa means somebody has a wound which he will eventually die from. He's not dying right now. A treifa means that he has a wound, an animal has a wound, a person has a wound, he'll eventually die from, but it could be a while. A treifa is for sure considered alive, says the Maharit. That Gemara in Sanhedrin says that a goses bidei adam is compared to a treifa. So therefore, that's my chilik. Goses bidei adam is considered alive. Right? If somebody is stabbed, they're considered alive until they're actually dead. A goses bidei shamayim, that's what these Rishonim are talking about. That's the Maharit. There is a huge problem on the Maharit. This is what Yosef asked after Shir. This is what maybe others asked. And that is, this is a perfect example where if you just trust the Achron's quote of the Gemara, then you miss the whole story. He quotes one line of the Gemara, which the Gemara does say. The Gemara says that a goses bidei adam is compared to a treifa. It's right in the middle, like Chesed Aleph. But if you look at what does he try to prove from there? The goses bidei adam is considered alive. Goses bidei shamayim is considered dead. But what's the problem? If you look at that whole Gemara, it's exactly the opposite of what the Maharit is trying to do. Don't look at that one line. If you look at the whole Gemara, there is exactly the opposite of what the Maharit is trying to do. So what in the world is the Maharit trying to do? What do you mean is the opposite? That Gemara is talking about murder, ritzicha. What does the Gemara say? If a murderer, if a rotzeach kills somebody who's goses bidei shamayim, they're for sure chayiv misa. Again, if somebody is a rotzeach and they kill a goses bidei shamayim, they're for sure chayiv misa. Goses bidei adam, that's a machlokas. One opinion says it's chayiv misa, because the goses bidei adam is considered alive. That's where it compares it to a treifa. And one opinion says, no, he's considered dead already. And you're patur if you kill a goses bidei adam. If you take a step back from that Gemara, what does the Gemara say there? Everybody agrees, and I'll tell you in a second, everybody agrees that if you kill a goses bidei shamayim, you're a murderer. You're chayiv misa. Which pashtus means, for sure, a goses bidei shamayim is alive. Goses bidei adam is a machlokas. One says a goses bidei adam is like a treifa, one says not. It's exactly the opposite direction than what the Maharit is trying to prove. What's the Maharit trying to answer? The Maharit is trying to say, how do these Rishonim that say a goses can't give a get into a kinyan, how do they understand this Gemara? Oh, chilik, goses bidei adam, goses bidei shamayim. Goses bidei adam is considered alive. Goses bidei shamayim is not considered alive. Oh, and what's my raya? Sanhedrin Ayin Ches. Where you see goses bidei adam is considered alive, this is compared to a treifa. Oh, wait a minute. Maharit, look at that whole Gemara. The whole Gemara, don't look at that one line. The whole Gemara is saying exactly the opposite of what you're trying to say. Right? Goses bidei shamayim is more alive than a goses bidei adam. So what is the Maharit trying to do? Isn't that Gemara exactly against what he's trying to do? That's a question that we have to deal with right now. Again, the Maharit had a suggestion for these Rishonim. The Maharit knew the Gemara. The Maharit knew the Gemara. We can't just say he didn't remember. He's quoting that Gemara. So what's going on here? Is there any other way to understand the Gemara in Sanhedrin? So it's not the exact opposite of the Maharit, because the Maharit is using that Gemara. That's what we're going to try to figure out right now. Okay, Naftali. Totally, and then
I don't really understand. I'm probably just misunderstanding the Gemara, but I don't understand how we're saying, and based on Gemara and Sanhedrin, that a treifa is considered alive, because it says if you kill a treifa, you're putter. So why would but if he's alive, then you should be chaya?
That's a special limud in the Gemara Sanhedrin about why you're putter if you're killing a treifa. It already has the reason for its death in the future. That's based on a special pasuk. But a little bit of that is going to be the answer. What we're going to say. Yes, Yaakov, you're going to ask that.
Can't we suggest that it goes to Bidei Shemaim? It's like what we talked about earlier in Shir, like a few topics ago, about the fact that Bidei Shemaim, you can't really figure out when tshuva is being done. So that's why you're Chayav Mitzvah, because tshuva could be done mashinkin by Bidei Adam, which the mitzvah already happens.
That's
why
tshuva. That's all. Tshuva is all in the mind. That's why you can't figure it out. Here, it's you see if the guy's dying or not.
But by Misa, it's different, because Misa, when you do the final hammer blow and kill the person, if it's Bidei Adam, like it already seemed to happen. Bidei Shemayim, there's
we'll see. Maybe we'll say something similar. Okay, so how does the Maharit? How do we figure out this Maharit? So maybe the answer is the first gasp, another kasha. It's not only a Maharit that's a problem. There's a rush. 200 years before the Maharit. There's a rush that's the problem. Which rush? In the Shizim Mukubetes in Nazir Dav Dalet. So that's the Gemara that we started talking about Shimshon. So this is going to be another question which we're going to have to answer, but this is going to help us out. The Gemara Nazir Dav Dalet is trying to figure out how do we know how Shimshon, right? There's different types of Naziris. There's Stam Nazir. A Stam Nazir can't do three things: wine, hair, Tumah. A Nazir Shimshon, if somebody says, I want to be a Nazir Shimshon, that's only 2 out of 3. He's not allowed to cut his hair, he can't drink wine, but he's allowed to become Tamei Meis. How do we know that Shimshon was Tamei Meis? That's the Gemara quoting all different psukim. But towards the bottom of Dalet Beis, the Gemara says, it said that Shimshon killed a bunch of people. So if he killed them, didn't he become Tamei Meis? You see, he wasn't faulted, so must be he became Tamei Meis. Says the Gemara, maybe he didn't kill them. Maybe he just made them gosesin. That's the bottom of Dalet Beis. The Dilma gosesin shavinan. Maybe he made them gosesin, and therefore there's no raya. He didn't become Tamei Meis because they're not dead. That's the Gemara. The Gemara says again, maybe he made them into gosesin. They weren't dead, and therefore there's no raya. So the Gemara's maskana is Gemara Gemira, it's just the Mesorah. Maybe it's Halach Moshe Sinai. Right? We know Nazir Shimshon is allowed to become Tamei Meis. But that's the Gemara. Maybe he made them gosesin, and therefore he didn't become Tamei Meis. Ask the Rishonim Akasha. Ask Tosfos. Ask the Shidduch Betzes in the name of the Rush. But a Kohen or a Nazir is not allowed to touch a goses either. So even if he only made them into a goses, it should also be a problem. It should also be a proof. Because a Nazir or a Kohen is not allowed to touch a goses. That's the Gemara later on, Nazir Mem Gimel. A Nazir or Kohen cannot touch a goses. So how did the Gemara answer? The Tosfos answers, Dalet Beis, Dilma gosesin shavinan, lav dafka gosesin. It doesn't really mean, when the Gemara says, maybe he made him into a goses. It doesn't mean literally made him into a goses. The Nazir Aser Liga Bagoses. The Nazir can't touch a goses either. Klomar Parov Lagosesin. It means he made them close to gosesin. He didn't make them gosesin. Okay, Tosfos says. It means close. Close to, he really hurt them, but they weren't goses. Okay, that's Tosfos. But the rush in the Shidduch Mukubetes in Nazir, the Rush says, maybe there's a chilik between goses bidei Adam and goses bidei Shamayim. When does the Gemara say on Nazir Daf Mem Gimel, the Nazir and a Kohen are not allowed to touch a Gosses? That's by Gosses Bidei Shamayim. Gosses Bidei Shamayim, they're really considered dead. And therefore, a Kohen and Nazir can't touch them. But what's Shimshon talking about? He did it. Shimshon, Gosses Bidei Adam. Gosses Bidei Adam is considered more alive. And that's why Kohen and Nazir is allowed to touch a Gosses Bidei Adam. That's the rush. Right? The rush, right here in the Shita. Meaning, what's the rush saying? A Gosses Bidei Adam is considered alive. A Gosses Bidei Shamayim is considered dead. And that's why a Nazir or a Kohen cannot touch a Gosses Bidei Shamayim, but can touch a Gosses Bidei Adam. That's the rush. So now we're both sides. We don't only have a problem with the Maharit, who's an early Achron. We have a problem with the Rush, who's a Rishon. The Rush asks the Chassam Sofer. Is against the Gemara. The Gemara, what did we just see in Sanhedrin? Ayin Ches. What do we see? If somebody kills a Gosses Bidei Shamayim, they're for sure Chayiv Misa. Because for sure, they're alive. Gosses Bidei Adam is a Machlokes. Doesn't the Gemara Sanhedrin tell us who's more alive? Gosses Bidei Shamayim is more alive. What did the Rush say? Gosses Bidei Adam is more alive. We have a problem. The Rush knows the Gemara. So how could we answer? Again, get the question down. The Gemara in Sanhedrin seems to say, who's more alive? What does it say? What does it say? And therefore, what do we learn from it? What does the Gemara in Sanhedrin say? If somebody kills a Gosses Bidei Shamayim, he is Chayiv Misa. If somebody kills a Gosses Bidei Adam, Machlokes. So what do we think that Gemara means? Gosses Bidei Shamayim is more alive. Everybody agrees you're Chayiv Misa if you kill a Gosses Bidei Shamayim. What does the Rush say? A Nazir or a Kohen is allowed to touch a Gosses Bidei Adam, and not a Gosses Bidei Shamayim. Why? Because a Gosses Bidei Adam is more alive than a Gosses Bidei Shamayim. Bidei Shamayim, a Kohen can't touch. A Nazir can't touch because that's really, he's like he's dead already. Exactly the opposite of the Gemara in Sanhedrin. That's the problem. But basically the same question we asked on the Maharit, we're asking on the Rush here in Mesechus Nazir. So what is going on? Says the Maharit Chayes. Reb Tzvi Hirsch Chayes. It's in Nazir Daval in the back of the Gemaras. Nazir, again, he's one of the last Achronim who are included in the back of the Gemaras. Maharit Chayes was a Talmud or a contemporary of Chassam Sofer. He wrote him a lot of shilos. So he quotes this question to Chassam Sofer. I think it's his answer. It seems to be his answer. It's Tzarech L'Chale. Says the Maharit Chayes. Oh, that Gemara in Sanhedrin is not saying that a Gosses Bidei Shamayim is more alive. When the Gemara says that if you kill a Gosses Bidei Shamayim, everybody agrees you're Chayiv Misa. Gosses Bidei Adam is Machlokes. That doesn't mean that Gosses Bidei Shamayim is more alive. That Gemara is a specific detail in halachos of murder, halachos of Ritzitcha. Meaning what? If somebody already, if Ruvain, I saw recently, maybe by murder we shouldn't do this. If Esav goes over to, I don't know, Gan, and makes him into a Gosses Bidei Adam, and then somebody else comes and finishes it, like Yaakov was saying before, in that case, you know why there's a machlokas? Because it could be that there's already a murderer that we stamp with the murder. It's not that the Gosses Bidei Adam is less alive than the Gosses Bidei Shamayim. It's just that somebody else has already claimed that title of murdering this guy. If he makes him into a goses, he's the man who's chayiv misa. Someone else comes and like does the last bit. You know what? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to punish you. But Beis Din is not going to kill you for that. Because somebody else already fits that bill. Somebody else is already called a murderer of this guy. Goses b'dei shamayim, nobody else murdered this guy. He's just very, 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 very sick. So the second that you murder him, you're going to be called the murderer. But that Gemara, what's important, is not telling us that a Goses b'dei shamayim is any more alive. Just because everybody agrees that if you kill somebody, Goses shamayim, that doesn't mean because they're more alive. It just means that in the laws of murder, it depends if somebody's called a murderer yet or not. That's what he says. Tzarech lachalek. Sham chiyuv misa gzeres hakasuf. Kol nefesh afi kol du nefesh. Pali biasiya. Even says, look in the Rashi. Rashi there in Sanhedrin Ayin Ches. What Rashi says? Rashi, Goses b'dei Adam. Look this up after if you didn't see it. Ayin Ches. What's it Goses b'dei Adam? Gonzeh shekarav lamus machmas hamakos. Elo lo asuu harishonim treifa. Somebody else hit him already, Rashi's emphasizing. Somebody else hit him already. That's the key. B'dei Adam, look at Rashi's lashon. That's the key one. Uba acher v'hargo hakol modim shechayiv. Why? Below is avid bei maisa. Bereisha. Nobody else did anything to him yet. And therefore, he's called a murderer. But that Gemara is not telling us that a Goses b'dei shamayim is any more alive than a Goses b'dei Adam. Below Talia, says the Maritz Chayes, in Nechshav Techai Olo. All right, but Lavachi wrote Goses in Lamisav. Nechshav Gamkin Kameis. Shitas Rabbeinu Yoel. Masha Eikain. What is the Rush talking about? Rush is talking about who's called more alive and who's not more alive. Says the Rush, or the Maritz Chayes, when somebody who's Goses b'dei shamayim, they're more dead. Why? You've seen this process for days. You see the person getting more and more and more sick. This is a natural progression. He's in the throes of death. What's Goses b'dei Adam? The guy was healthy, robust. Somebody came and sliced his neck. Maybe he fainted. Maybe he's going to come back. Who knows? This is not a natural progression. He's alive until proven dead. When it comes to the Maritz, Goses b'dei Adam, b'dei shamayim, that's a more natural progression, and we could already label him as dead earlier. And that's why the Rush says, Goses b'dei shamayim, a Kohen can't touch. Already considered dead. You know what this process is. Goses b'dei Adam, like Shimshon, you can touch him. You don't know if he's going to die. This is an external involvement. Goses b'dei Adam, Eshinon Shemanis Aleph, Ve'eno Metameh Hadayin, Ub'dei Shamayim, even the Lekakan, Maisa Chitzonis. There's no outer Maisa. Asher Garmalo. Imkain, the Higber Chola, Shu Goses, Kvarbali Safek, Yishmo Shimoni Misa Gamkain. Wow. So that Gemara in Sanhedrin is not saying what we thought it's saying. That Gemara in Sanhedrin is saying nothing except laws of murder. You're chayiv misa more if you kill a Goses b'dei Adam than Goses shamayim. Who's more alive? Gemara's not talking about that. Really, like the Rush says, who's more alive? A Goses b'dei Adam is more alive. Goses b'dei shamayim, Kohen can't touch. So if this is true, or I'll give you another svara. This is from the Avnei Nezer. Remember I said the Avnei Nezer was a great Baki, Atzum, a Lamdin. He was also a Hasidic Rebbe. And Rav Asher Weiss says sometimes the two overlap. Sometimes the two overlap. Here's an example. Did I take a picture of it? Did I send it to you or not? Did I send you the Maris Chayes here? Did I send you the, maybe I didn't send it to you. Don't want to forget? Maybe I'll send it to you right now. The paragraph that we, it's a whole tshuva, but I'll just send you the paragraph right now. The important paragraph. Okay. Then. Says the Avnei Nezer, the Sachat Shava Rebbe, Eglekal, father of the Shemi Shmuel. Says the Avnei Nezer. I can't really explain this. I'll just say the words. We can say the words, but I can't really explain it. He says, Tumas goses hu mishum aschalas hamisa. Goses means death has started. Yehischil tipas hamalach hamaves. The malach hamaves has already dripped in from his sword a drop of poison to cause death. Zehu begoses bidei shamayim. Goses bidei shamayim sheshayach shatuma imitzat tipas hamalach hamaves. The tuma misa malach hamaves. That's my piece of that goses bidei shamayim. But goses bidei adam. Listen to this line. She'eno al yedei malach hamaves. Kimavur bezoar hakadosh. I don't know what that means. But goses bidei shamayim. I say goses bidei adam, which is not a natural progression. It's not the malach hamaves coming in and doing his thing. It's something different. Kumitam zoar. When it comes to the malach hamaves, it's a process of tumah, and the drop comes in, and he's tummy. It's somebody killing him. It's not the malach hamaves. So until he's mamish dead, he's not dead. And that's why the same thing. Goses b'dei shamayim is considered dead even earlier. Goses b'dei adam only when he actually dies. The zayin of a goses kivesh adayin lo nestali kedusha. Umemela b'goses b'dei adam the less l'shnei tamim shaver muter liga. Okay, that's the Avnei Nezer. So again, the same idea, the same direction as the Maris Chayes. Goses b'dei shamayim is more dead. Goses b'dei adam is more alive. If this is all true, so now we come back to the Maharit. Why do we go on this excursion into Maseches Nazir, this little tiyul? Because we wanted to explain the Maharit. We said that the Maharit, according to the Gemara, is exactly against what he's trying to do. Doesn't the Gemara Sanhedrin prove that Goses b'dei Adam is more dead? If you kill a Goses b'dei Shamayim, you're for sure Chayav Misa. Goses b'dei Adam, no, machlokas. So what did we just say? No. The Maharit quoted one line, which compares it to a treifa. Goses b'dei Adam. The Gemara is against. No, the Gemara is not against. The Gemara is saying a law about Hilchos Ritzicha, but really, like the Maharit suggests, Goses b'dei Adam is more alive. And that's why, according to these Rishonim, he's explaining, Goses b'dei Adam could write a get, like the Gemara says. Maybe they could even do kinyanim. Goses b'dei Shamayim can't. Like the Rush says, in Nazir, or in the Shida Mekubet. Okay, this is an explanation of the Maharit and of the Rush based on putting together the Gemara Nazir Daf Dalid, the Gemara Nazir Daf Mem Gimel. Okay, questions on that?
Rabbi, what about the memela aspect?
The memela aspect. So again, they are kimes, but they're still not mamish. Meaning for tumas kohen, it's already dead enough that they would violate. But for things memela, they do still exist. We'd be mechal Shabbos for them. So for certain things, they are. We're going to explain them more in a minute. But for certain things, they are considered alive, clearly. So the memela, which doesn't need that much, so then they will consider it alive. Let's get to that right now. So we just explained how these shitas, Rabbeinu Yoel, Rabbeinu Hananel, Rashi, explain all the Gemaras. But let's get to the root of the issue now. This is the next section of the sugya. If you didn't get the Maharit, you got the Maharit. Let's move on. Next section of the sugya.
Rabbi,
What's the svara? Yeah.
I understand how we're saying that that based on the Gemara in Sanhedrin, that a gosses b'dei adam, that since someone hit him first, the second guy's going to be pater. But if we're saying that at the end of the day, a gosses b'dei shemayim is more considered dead, then forget hilchos ritzicha. If the guy's called dead, then how can you make someone chayiv misa if he kills someone who's gosses b'dei shemayim?
They're considered dead for certain halachos. For tumas meis, for gittin, well, you have to do a maisa.
And how can you make that separation though?
That's the chiddush. The chiddush is a person could, is considered alive for this and dead for this. That's what we're going to talk about now. But again, sometimes you find, middle statuses considered every Kanani considered Jewish for this and not Jewish for this. Chati Eved Chati Ben Chorin. So the question is what you require for the different halachas. So what's the svara? What's the svara for them to say at all? Again, Rov Rishonim say they're alive. They're alive. They can give in. They can do, they can do everything. What does our Gemara mean that they can't make a kinyan? Because you don't know. They can't talk. You don't know what their das is. What's the svara for these Rishonim, Rabbeinu Yoel and others, and the Rosh and the Rashi and Rechananel? Why does Rashi say they're a lav bar matana? Period. Even if, remember the language of the Rosh, even if we know they're coherent and they're talking with a full das, we still don't allow them to do kinyanim. So what is it? So a couple of suggestions in the Achronim. Number one might just be practical level. No matter how they say and we never halachically trust them. Maybe like Yaakov said before. At the end of the day, if a person's about to die, we don't trust them, and we're choshesh that maybe they're not thinking clearly, and therefore we won't be able to act based on what they say, where they need something, to act upon. So that's one, not fundamental. We're always choshesh that they have chisaron and das. It's very hard to put into the words. Because the Rosh, if you remember in Kedushin, says beferish, even if they're clear and we know exactly what they're thinking, maybe you can read this in. Maybe you can read that in, even though it's not the pashtus of the Rosh. Of the Rosh here. Okay, I'm not going to read it again. That's one idea. But it's very hard to put into the words. I think the Rosh said again. Try to get the Rosh again. Or is it Dalet Zayin? Here. Afal pishu miyushav b'daito. He says, Afal pish enu miyushav b'daito. Even though he has his sound of mind. So it's hard to put that in, but maybe that's one idea. A second idea, that same Maharit earlier in the paragraph. Says something fundamental. We don't exactly know what it means, but he says it, which is exciting. He says, this person, according to these Rishonim, is somewhere in between life and death. He's somewhere in between. He's not fully alive, but he's not fully dead. He's somewhere in the middle. And because he has that middle status, there could be different nafkaminas, different halachas. Some halachas need a full live person to do something. And some halachas just mean, as long as you're not dead, it's good enough. But he has these tremendous lashonos. He says, the Rashi modet the kechai chashvin alei, ela kol midi da'asya memela, v'lo tzarech ma'isa dideh, you don't need him, kechai chashvin alei, sha'adayin lo meis legamrei. I think there's an old movie. I don't know if I'm allowed to quote a movie here, but it's not being. I guess it is being recorded. There's an old movie that my wife's favorite movie. I saw it like 20 years ago. Yeah, what's it called? The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride? Like years and years ago. There's a little kids movie. So there they talk about what's his name? That famous actor, Billy Crystal. Right? He's like this witch guy that does Chias HaMesim. He's not all dead. He's mostly dead. That's the Shita. They're somewhere in the middle. They're not alive, but they're not fully dead. It's only mostly. That's exactly what the Myrick says. Myrick quotes the movie. Sha'adayin lo meis legamre. Adayin lo meis legamre. Right? They didn't die fully. About milsa, the tzarech iu lasos maisa, where you have to do something. Going lahaknos lagaresh lo mahani. Why? The kivan the pichishusa aschala, since the weakness has started. Eno kechai gamor. So those are his two lashonos. Lo meis lagamre, eno kechai gamor. In Lumdus, that's an amazing formulation. He's acknowledging that this is somewhere in the middle. And that's what these Rishonim say. Basically, what is he saying? He's saying that death is a process. Death isn't a one-moment thing. A process. Somebody starts off fully alive, then they get somewhere less alive and closer to death, then they get mostly dead and less alive, and then it's a process. Rav Moshe Feinstein says it's beferish. I gave you the Rav Moshe to look at. Koshen Mishpat, Aleph Samach Aleph. Aleph Samach Aleph. He was asked a kasha on Rashi and Kiddushin Ayin Ches. Rashi. He not only always got asked halachic shilas, he got asked like Chat in the Rashi. He said, what's Chat in Rashi? That it goes, he says like dead. Says Rav Moshe. She'af shelagabe atzmo nechshav chai. Kozman shalom meis mamish. Guarding his 5. Your machal Shabbos for him. If he's wearing tzitzis, he's getting the mitzvah of tzitzis. Right, we're called alive. We call makom lagabe achirim kibomim matana. Regarding other people, like giving a gift. Shetzorka ma'isa kinyan lekabel nechshav kemes. Me'achar chuchatza misa da achirim ishlanu leishlu achshivo kemes tekif mishehuschal chatza misa. When it starts. Treifa is not in the process of dying. Treifa will die, but he's not in the process of dying. But Rav Moshe says a gosses is in the process of dying. Who else says this? Rav Shechter has an article in his Sefer Ikvei Atzon on page. I don't think I gave this to you. On page, where are we here? Reish. Where are we? I thought I put up the page. Reish Mem Vav. In Rav Shechter Sefer Ikvei Atzon. Okay, I'll take a picture of it now too. Second. I think I gave this to you. There it is. Rav Shechter says the Hagdara of Gosses. Inyan Gosses Gidro Ikvar Huschal Bo Inyan Amisa. Klomar Amisa Lo Chala Bereg Echad. Misa is not a one-moment thing. Elashu Talich Hanimshach LeEzi Shiu Izman. It's a process. That's exactly what the Ma'arit is saying. According to this, we've shown him. How could you have like they're already dead? They're not dead. Rav Moshe says they're dead Lagabi other people. Lagabi himself, he's alive. Regarding any kinyan you have to make, it's kilo mace because you're somewhere in the middle, right? His lashon is lo chai lagamre, lo mace lagamre. That's the beautiful lashon of the Maharit. That is all a second approach. For these Rishonim. 2 more. 4 ideas. Well, the 3rd and 4th are from Rav Asher Weiss. In the Minchas Asher on Bava Basra, Siman Aleph. Says Rav Asher Weiss, he says, let's say you have when Einstein was 11 years old, you count him for a minion? You count Einstein for a minion when he's 11 years old? You're going to call him a Lav Bardas? You're really going to call Einstein a Lav Bardas? Right? Or actually, when the Chazon Ish was 11 years old, did he count for a minion? And the answer is no. What do you mean he's not a Lav Bardas? The answer is Because the category of katan, 90% of the time is a lav bardas. That's the category. And therefore, even if there are details and sometimes that somebody doesn't fit into the category, it's still labeled as the category. It's still labeled as a gosses. Even if in this circumstance, miyushav bedaito. So says Rav Asher Weiss, he says he thinks that's maybe what the shot is. Yeish lomar. Where's his lashon here? He says, if you have a category of people that generally don't have das, have the status of a shota, even though sometimes they have the das. Even if you have a chazonish that at 11 years old he's a super genius, doesn't matter. You can count for a minion. It's halachically a lav bar das. So maybe a gosses. He's a lav bar kinyan, he's a lav bar get. He can't do these things because he's generally gossesim cannot make a chalos. And therefore it is always, even in certain cases. So that could fit into the lashon sometimes, but he's not sure if that's the pshat. And the final one, and we'll finish with this. We'll have to leave the Radvaz by the Shem for tomorrow. Let's review this after Shir, though. Says the Asher Weiss, the fourth and final approach. He says this elsewhere also. I didn't give it to you. But he says maybe it's an issue in kinyanim. In order to make a kinyan, there are two steps to this idea. To be able to make a kinyan, you have to have bailus. Step one. You have to have bailus. What is, right? Bailus means the first ingredient to kinyanim. You have to be in control. You have to have bailus on the item that you're giving, the item that you're getting. Number one. Number two, step two, in order to have bailus always needs an expression. That's his lashon. Bailus needs to express itself in a certain way, with abilities, or having something in your reshus. He says this in the context of Yeish. How does Yeish work? When you give up hope, how does that be nicknamed to somebody else? He says, if something is not in my reshus and I have no hope of getting it back, then it becomes not mine. As long as I have a hope of getting it back, that's an expression of bailus. He says this by Yeish. Bailus always needs some type of expression, some type of reflection that you have a connection to that item. When somebody's a gosses, you can't express their bailus because they're not functional. They can't talk. They can't move. They can't express their bailus. So maybe that's why they can't make kinyanim, even though they're alive. For Dvarim de B'Meila, they're alive. Why dafka can't they make kinyanim? Because they need A, bailus, and two, their bailus can't be reflected and expressed anyway. So 4 ideas. According to these Rishonim, what does it mean they're like dead? What does it mean they're like dead? So number one, maybe it's just we'll never know for sure. We'll never know for sure what they're thinking. Number two, the maharit, somewhere between life and death. It's a process. Number three, it's a category of gosses. Even if in certain times, you could trust them, but this is the category. And number four, bailus needs some expression. And if you can't have an expression, you lose your bailus, basically. And that's why you can't make a kinyan. So those are 4 ideas for this svara. What we have left to do, so again, we did a lot today. We did the maharit, problem, not problem. We did these 4 ideas. I'll take the questions now. But please, review, get this note as well. With the chavrusa, and then you can look at that Radvaz. I think I sent you the Radvaz. We didn't do the Radvaz yet. The Radvaz, and then if you could look at the beginning of Maseches Smachos, on top of Maseches Smachos, there's a brisa. There's a few lines quoted. What is that doing there? Look at the pirush on the bottom. There's something bikurim, right? So look at that. going to end with a Dvar Hashkafa. Hashem, end the sugya tomorrow with the Dvar Hashkafa. Okay, question. Yaakov, yeah?
At least with the first answer, and I don't know how many of them, the Ma'arik can't explain, the way we explain the Ma'arik